Ethan Cole stood at the entrance of the massive chamber, looking at the endless crowd of alien delegates gathered in orbit around a distant star. His eyes scanned the room, noticing every detail. The chamber was larger than any human structure, with glowing panels and floating platforms that seemed impossible to walk on. Aliens of all shapes and sizes were moving about, speaking in voices that humans could barely understand. Some had long limbs, others had scales or glimmering skin, and all of them seemed far more advanced than any human had ever seen. Ethan took a deep breath and adjusted his uniform. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him. Beside him, Ava Brooks whispered, "This is bigger than I imagined." Her eyes were wide, a mix of fear and excitement. She had spent her life studying galactic politics, but nothing could have prepared her for this. Daniel Price gave a small nod, trying to hide his own nervousness. "Remember, we are here to represent humanity. Stay calm and watch closely." They moved forward as a crowd of aliens parted. Whispers and quiet laughter followed them, and Ethan could sense the dismissive attitude of the council. The humans were seen as weak, primitive, and unworthy of attention. But Ethan did not let it shake him. He had prepared for this moment for years, and he knew that appearances could be deceiving. As they reached the center of the chamber, a tall alien with a crown-like headpiece stepped forward. Its voice was deep and resonant. "Welcome, humans. We are curious why your species has been allowed here. Surely this is an accident." Ethan stepped forward and bowed slightly. "We come in peace and with a message," he said, choosing his words carefully. The council seemed unimpressed, and some delegates laughed openly. Ava clenched her fists, but Ethan held up a hand to stop her from reacting. The alien continued, "Your achievements are small. Your technology is basic compared to ours. Why should we take your presence seriously?" Ethan paused, looking around at the gathered council members. He could see arrogance in their eyes, the assumption that humans were insignificant. "We are aware of your advancements," he said slowly, "but underestimate us at your own risk." The laughter grew louder. A creature with multiple eyes floated forward, its voice high-pitched and mocking. "What can a young species like yours offer us? A few planets? Some outdated ships? You are nothing in the face of the galaxy." Ethan did not respond immediately. He observed their reactions, noting the patterns in the way they communicated. He saw their confidence and their blind spots. Ava whispered, "This is worse than I thought. They are not listening to reason." Daniel muttered, "Stay focused. We need to make our point without angering them too soon." The council demanded that humanity submit to their authority. They wanted the humans to acknowledge the superiority of other species and accept their place as lesser beings. Ethan could feel the tension rising, and he knew that any wrong move could lead to disaster. Yet he remained calm, hiding the storm of thoughts in his mind. He looked at Ava and Daniel. "We will not beg," he said quietly. "We will not kneel. We are here to speak our truth." The council's laughter reached its peak, echoing throughout the chamber. Ethan felt a surge of determination. He knew that this was a moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. The room was full of doubt about humans, but Ethan was prepared to show that humans were not to be underestimated. He took a step forward, his voice steady and clear. "We do not seek approval. We do not ask for permission. We are here to deliver a message." The alien stared at him, surprised by the calm defiance in his tone. Some seemed unsure how to react. Ethan could see that the balance of power in the room was beginning to shift just slightly, as the council realized that humans were not easily intimidated. Ava whispered, "I never thought I'd see a human stand like this." Daniel nodded. "He knows what he is doing. Trust him." Ethan continued, addressing the council with a quiet intensity. "The time of underestimating humanity is over. We have prepared for this moment for years, quietly and with patience. The galaxy will soon see the truth of our strength." There was silence in the chamber, broken only by the distant hum of technology. The council members were shocked by the confidence of a species they had dismissed as weak. Ethan could see that the seeds of doubt were beginning to take root in their minds. The humans were not alone in their resolve. Ships and fleets that had remained hidden throughout the galaxy were ready to act, waiting for Ethan's signal. Ava and Daniel were part of this network, coordinating with humans on distant worlds to ensure that when the time came, humanity would not be vulnerable. Ethan knew that the Council's mockery would not last much longer. Their arrogance was based on ignorance, and ignorance was something humans had learned to exploit. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but also the thrill of what was to come. As the humans prepared to leave the chamber, Ethan's mind was already moving ahead. The council thought they were superior, but they had no idea what humans had planned. The galaxy had underestimated a species that thrived on resilience, intelligence, and unity, and that underestimation would soon cost them dearly. He glanced at Ava and Daniel one last time. "Stay ready. Our work has just begun." The three humans exited the chamber, leaving behind a council that had mocked them, but the laughter was fading, replaced by uncertainty. For the first time, the council began to wonder if perhaps they had misjudged the humans entirely. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, fleets waited, ready to show the true power of humanity. Their patience, their preparation, and their courage would soon be revealed. The era of mockery was ending, and the era of respect or fear was about to begin. The council chamber seemed endless, stretching into darkness with alien delegates floating and walking on platforms that defied human imagination. Ethan Cole, Ava Brooks, and Daniel Price moved slowly through the room, feeling every eye upon them. The aliens' laughter and whispers made it clear they still saw humans as insignificant, a species barely worthy of attention. But Ethan's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with the mocking environment. As they reached the central platform, a large alien with silver eyes and long appendages stepped forward. Its voice resonated throughout the chamber. "Humans, we are amused by your presence. Surely, you must understand that your species is primitive. Why do you even stand here?" Ava's fist tightened. She wanted to speak, to defend humanity, but Ethan placed a hand on her shoulder. "Let them speak," he whispered. "We will respond carefully." Another alien, this one with translucent skin and a floating crown, laughed. "You bring nothing to the galaxy. Your technology is simple. Your fleets are weak. What can you hope to achieve here?" Daniel leaned slightly toward Ethan. "It is worse than we imagined. They do not even consider us worthy of respect." Ethan nodded, keeping his voice calm. "We did not come seeking respect," he said. "We came to show that strength is not always obvious. You may laugh now, but underestimating us is a mistake." The council erupted into laughter. Some delegates waved their limbs, pointing at humans, mocking every word. Ethan noticed patterns in their movements, understanding how they communicated subtly through gestures and eye signals. This knowledge would be useful later. The aliens demanded submission. They wanted humans to bow, to recognize the council as superior, and to accept their place as a minor species in the galaxy. Ethan listened, the weight of the moment pressing down on him, but he remained composed. Ava whispered, "I never thought it would feel this humiliating." Ethan responded quietly, "Humiliation is temporary. Preparation is permanent. Focus on what comes next." The council continued their mockery. They detailed human weaknesses, belittled past wars, and dismissed human technology. One alien delegate, with eyes all around its head, floated forward. "Why should we take your threat seriously? You cannot possibly challenge us." Ethan observed carefully. He realized that the council's arrogance was their weakness. Their pride blinded them to the quiet strength that humanity had built for years in secret. The fleets hidden in distant sectors, the advanced weapon systems, and the alliances humans had quietly forged would soon become their leverage. Ava whispered, "Do you think they will ever take us seriously?" Ethan looked around, meeting Daniel's eyes. "Not until they see us. But they will. Soon. Patience is part of the strategy." The chamber was filled with scorn and disbelief. The humans' refusal to beg or submit was confusing the council. Ethan continued to speak softly but firmly, outlining humanity's perspective. He made no threats, no boasts, just a calm declaration of intent. The council was used to species that trembled under their scrutiny, and this refusal to panic made them uneasy. The alien with silver eyes leaned closer. "You speak boldly, human, but your words are empty. Can you back them up?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Words alone are not our weapon. Actions will speak for us. The galaxy will soon witness what humans are capable of." Some of the younger delegates exchanged worried looks. They had never seen a species remain so composed in the face of ridicule. Ethan sensed that the council's overconfidence was beginning to falter, even if they would not admit it yet. Daniel muttered, "We need to maintain our calm. Any show of anger will be used against us." Ethan nodded. "Correct. They expect weakness. We will not provide it." The session continued, with the council attempting to belittle humans at every turn. Each insult and mockery, however, only strengthened Ethan's resolve. He understood that this was a test, not of power, but of patience and strategy. Every laugh, every mocking gesture, was a piece of information he could use. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the council demanded a formal submission from humanity. They wanted an official acknowledgement of their superiority. Ethan knew the moment had come to make a choice, submission or defiance. He turned to Ava and Daniel. "Remember what we discussed. This is not just about us. It is about every human being in the galaxy. Stand firm." Ava swallowed hard, her hands shaking slightly. "I understand. We cannot back down." Daniel adjusted his uniform, nodding. "We are ready." Ethan stepped forward, facing the council fully. "We will not submit. Humanity does not bow to arrogance. We do not need your approval. What you see as weakness is patience. What you see as silence is preparation." The chamber went silent, the echoes of alien laughter fading. Delegates whispered to each other, unsure how to respond to such calm defiance. Some seemed angry, others confused. Ethan could see the subtle cracks forming in their composure. Ava whispered, "They are not used to this." Ethan responded, "Good. Let them wonder. Let them fear what they cannot yet see." The humans turned and left the platform. The council, still processing the unexpected defiance, realized that their mockery might have underestimated humanity. Ethan, Ava, and Daniel walked out of the chamber, their steps measured, their minds focused. They knew that the council would remember this moment, and that the galaxy would soon see the true strength of a species that never begged, never yielded, and never underestimated the power of preparation and resolve. Ethan Cole returned to Human's private command area after the council session, but his mind was already in motion. The council had mocked them, treating humanity as insignificant, but that had only strengthened his resolve. He sat at the central control panel, Ava and Daniel standing beside him, their eyes reflecting both worry and determination. "We need to plan carefully," Ethan said, speaking slowly and clearly. "The council thinks this is a joke. They think we are weak. We will show them otherwise, but we must be precise." Ava nodded. "All our fleets are ready, but they are hidden across sectors they cannot detect. We have trained our commanders to act only on my signal." Daniel added, "The technology we develop in secret is superior to what they expect. They will not see it coming." Ethan studied the map of the galaxy projected in front of them. He could see the territories controlled by the council, the paths their fleets normally took, and the weak points in their defenses. Humans had spent decades preparing, building alliances quietly, developing ships and weapons that were unnoticeable until they were needed. He spoke with calm authority. "We will not strike blindly. We will be strategic. The council believes they have power. They will soon learn that power is only what you can enforce." Ava studied the map, her fingers tracing the routes. "Ethan, our message must be clear. We do not seek destruction for its own sake. We want respect and acknowledgement." Ethan looked at her and nodded. "Exactly. The council will learn that underestimating humans was a mistake, but the timing must be perfect. Any misstep could give them the advantage." He began to outline the plan to activate the hidden fleets and technology. Humans had been preparing for this moment for years, building not just ships, but intelligence networks, communication systems, and strategies that were unknown to the council. Every move had been rehearsed, and every commander had been trained to act independently yet in perfect coordination. Ava spoke quietly. "They mocked us, but they did not see this coming." Ethan allowed a small smile. "They will see soon enough. Our preparation is our strength. They mock patience, but patience is a weapon they cannot anticipate." Daniel frowned slightly. "Do you think they will surrender without a fight?" Ethan shook his head. "They will resist, but only because they do not understand what humans are capable of. Once they witness our strength, their arrogance will crumble." Hours passed as they worked, adjusting plans. sending encoded messages to fleet commanders and preparing contingencies. The Council's mockery still echoed in Ethan's mind, but it was fuel, not distraction. Every laugh, every derisive comment had been noted and cataloged for later. Their weakness was not just arrogance. It was underestimation, and that would be their undoing. Ava glanced at Ethan. It is strange, isn't it? They see us as weak, yet we are ready for everything. Ethan responded softly. That is the advantage of being underestimated. They do not watch closely. They do not suspect patience, strategy, and hidden strength. Daniel checked the communications array. All fleets are reporting readiness. Commanders await your signal. Ethan leaned back, closing his eyes briefly. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him, but he felt a surge of pride. Humanity was not weak. They had endured, prepared, and learned, and now the galaxy would witness the culmination of that preparation. He opened his eyes and looked at his team. When we act, it must be decisive. The Council will realize, too late, that humans are not a species to be mocked. This is the moment that changes everything. The 3 humans worked late into the night, reviewing plans and simulating outcomes. Every move had been considered. Every possible counter from the Council had been anticipated. Yet Ethan knew that unpredictability was inevitable, and humans had learned to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Finally, Ethan stood and addressed Ava and Daniel. Rest now. When the moment comes, we act together. The galaxy thinks they understand humans. They do not. They will learn through action, not words. Ava and Daniel nodded, their faces reflecting the weight of responsibility and the determination that had brought them this far. The Council might have mocked them, but the humans were ready. Years of preparation, silent planning, and hidden strength were about to be revealed. Ethan looked out at the stars beyond the command center. Somewhere among them, fleets waited, alliances formed in secret, and technology unknown to the Council was ready. The galaxy had assumed weakness where there was strength, mockery where there was patience, and the moment of revelation was approaching, a moment that would forever change the perception of humanity among the stars. The human secret fleets had been hidden for decades, scattered across the galaxy in systems the Council never monitored closely. Ethan Cole, Ava Brooks, and Daniel Price oversaw the coordination from the Central Command Station. Every fleet was in position. Every commander knew the orders, and every communication channel was encrypted and secure. Ethan studied the holographic display before him, showing the galaxy in vivid detail. Lines representing hidden human fleets connected across sectors, ready to converge on strategic locations. The Council does not expect this, he said calmly. They think humanity is weak, disorganized, and laughable. They have no idea of our preparation. Ava nodded. Our technology is far beyond what they assume. The ships can move at speeds they cannot track, weapon systems they cannot anticipate. It will be a shock. Daniel pointed at a cluster of ships near a key Council system. This is where we make our first demonstration. It will send a clear message. Ethan leaned forward. Good. Begin Phase 1. Make sure we do not overcommit. The Council must understand our strength, but not think we are reckless. As the orders were transmitted, human ships activated their cloaking devices and moved into position. The alien Council was still debating the humans' supposed weakness when suddenly reports began arriving. Ships were appearing near Council-controlled systems, visible for the first time. The Council was caught off guard. One delegate, with long tentacles and glowing eyes, shouted, "Impossible! How did they move so quickly? This is an ambush." The humans' hidden networks had allowed them to strike unseen, and the Council was realizing too late that they had underestimated human intelligence and coordination. Ethan's calm voice echoed in the command center. We do not strike to destroy. We strike to show capability. The message is simple. Humans are not weak. Ava watched the battle simulation unfold on the screen. They are panicking. They do not know what to do. Daniel added, Our strategy is working. They thought laughter would intimidate us. Now they see the truth. The Council scrambled, sending fleets to respond, but human ships were already in position, blocking key routes and cutting off reinforcements. Communication arrays were targeted, disabling Council coordination in several systems. The Council's confidence was crumbling. Ethan spoke quietly, Phase 2 will begin soon. We maintain precision and discipline. Show them our strength, but avoid unnecessary destruction. Ava nodded, her hand steady as she sent out the next set of orders. Daniel monitored the Council's response, noting every weakness and hesitation. Humanity's plan was unfolding exactly as Ethan had predicted. The Council had underestimated humans at every turn, and now they were paying the price. Ships moved with uncanny precision, striking at key points to demonstrate human power without causing mass casualties. The Council began to realize that this was not mere aggression. It was controlled, deliberate, and terrifyingly effective. Their arrogance had blinded them, and humans were exploiting every blind spot. Ethan turned to his team. Now we make the final demonstration. Let them understand that humans cannot be mocked or dismissed. They will respect us, or they will face consequences. Ava and Daniel prepared the final phase, coordinating movements across hundreds of light years. Every commander was synchronized, every fleet ready. The Council's panic grew as human ships appeared in systems they thought secure, moving faster and more efficiently than anything they had encountered. The alien leaders were in disarray. Some tried to negotiate. Others scrambled their fleets in confusion. Ethan watched, calm as ever, knowing that humanity's patience and preparation had won the first battle, not through overwhelming force, but through intelligence, strategy, and surprise. They will remember this day, Ethan said softly. They mocked us, but they cannot ignore what they see now. Ava smiled faintly. For the first time, they are seeing humans as equals, not jokes. Daniel added, and they will never underestimate us again. Ethan nodded. The hidden strength of humanity had been revealed, not through arrogance or violence, but through careful planning, discipline, and the courage to stand firm in the face of ridicule. The Council had mocked them, but now they understood that humanity's patience, intelligence, and coordination were not weaknesses. They were the greatest strength the galaxy had ever underestimated. The war that humanity had prepared for finally unfolded across the galaxy. Ethan Cole, Ava Brooks, and Daniel Price oversaw the operations from the Central Command Station, coordinating fleets, monitoring Council systems, and ensuring that every move reinforced their message. This was not a war for destruction, but a war to establish respect and acknowledgement. Ethan watched the display of Council systems under human control. Ships moved with precision, disabling key Council defenses and cutting off supply lines without causing unnecessary casualties. The Council was beginning to realize that humanity was not a species to be mocked. Their arrogance had blinded them, and now the consequences were unfolding. Ava observed the movements of the fleets. The Council is in chaos. They did not anticipate this level of organization. They are beginning to understand that humans are not weak. Daniel added, our technology and strategy are unmatched. They cannot respond effectively. Every move we make demonstrates our capability. Ethan nodded. Exactly. Our goal is clear. Show strength, maintain discipline, and demand acknowledgement. We are not destroying them for the sake of it. We are teaching them a lesson they will never forget. The Council scrambled, attempting to regroup, but human fleets had already anticipated their strategies. Communications were jammed, reinforcements cut off, and key leaders isolated. The alien delegates realized that their laughter at humanity had been a grave mistake. The species they had dismissed was now in control, and their mockery had turned into fear. Ethan gave the order to advance to critical Council hubs. Move with precision. We strike only where necessary. Show them the consequences of underestimating us. Ava monitored the engagements, coordinating fleets across multiple systems. Every system we control now sends a clear message. They can no longer ignore us. Daniel reported on Council attempts to counterattack. They are trying, but their coordination is failing. Every move they make is anticipated. The human forces demonstrated not just firepower, but intelligence and adaptability. Fleets repositioned seamlessly, anticipating the Council's reactions. The message was clear. Humanity had patience, preparation, and a strategy that could not be easily disrupted. As the war progressed, Ethan and his team ensured that key Council leaders were captured rather than destroyed. The goal was not annihilation but respect. The humans wanted acknowledgement of their strength and the end of mockery. Every move reinforced this philosophy. Finally, after decisive operations across multiple systems. The Council realized that they had underestimated humanity at every level. Their arrogance and dismissal had led to chaos and loss of control in their territories. The galaxy, once filled with laughter at human weakness, now faced a species they could no longer ignore. Ethan addressed the Human Command Center. The Council will learn today that humanity is a force to be respected. This is not the end of our journey, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where humans are no longer dismissed. Ava and Daniel nodded, understanding the magnitude of what had been accomplished. The human fleets had demonstrated discipline, strategy, and courage, and the Council was forced to acknowledge it. The alien delegates were brought before Ethan, their arrogance replaced by cautious respect. They understood that humans had intelligence, patience, and capability to enforce their will, and that mockery could no longer be tolerated. Ethan spoke calmly. "We are not here to destroy. We are here to be recognized. Humanity is a species that does not yield to mockery and does not seek approval, but expects respect. Remember this lesson well." The Council remained silent, absorbing the truth of his words. Their laughter was gone, replaced by the realization that humans were a species of strategic brilliance and strength. The galaxy had witnessed the true power of humanity, and the era of mockery had ended. Ethan, Ava, and Daniel watched as the Council adjusted to this new reality. The galaxy had changed, not because of brute force alone, but because of preparation, intelligence, and the courage to stand firm. Humanity had proven that even a species once dismissed as weak could command respect and shape the future of the galaxy. The story of a human's rise spread throughout star systems, a reminder that underestimating anyone could lead to unexpected consequences, and that patience and preparation were as powerful as any weapon.